Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do entitled parents, because who doesn't love an entitled parent? Back at it with an entitled mom thinking it's okay not to pay me. Hi, I just remembered this encounter I had with an entitled parent about last summer. Backstory. I posted in another subreddit about my experience working in a fast food restaurant, and on some of my days off, I would do side jobs, which is laboring, cutting grass, replacing washing machines and dryers, moving water heaters, working on building projects. This happened on a Saturday, as I'm cutting my boss's yard. I guess I could call him my boss. He's not the one at the restaurant, but he's been taking me in and supervising me on a lot of jobs. Really great guy. EP equals entitled parent. M equals me. It was a Saturday, and I was ready to get up and get to work on my side job. I had already had the whole day planned out. I was to cut the yard, then we were going to pick up and replace the stove, then after that we were going to head over to this house where a client was adding in addition to their house. When I got there, I surveyed the yard to see how I wanted to cut it, but I also noticed that his neighbor's yard was covered with overgrowth. I get started. Then, as I'm halfway done, EP comes out to me. EP. Hi there. You're doing a pretty good job. Could you try and do something with ours if you don't mind? I don't mind the extra work. I love landscaping. Also, I wasn't going to say no to the extra money. Or at least I thought I was getting extra money. Sure. Let me finish up with this one and I'll be right over. EP. Oh, but I'm kind of in a hurry. Could you just do it now? Ma'am, it would be against my nature to move on to another yard when I'm not even finished with the one I'm working on. Bear with me. I'll be over there soon. She impatiently looks at me and says okay. Keep in mind that I also had to weed eat, edge, and blow the yard after I cut it, so halfway done meant I just got done with the lawnmower. My boss doesn't have a really big yard, but it is sizable and somewhat open. There wasn't much spots to weed eat as the mower could pretty much get to most of the spaces. As I'm starting on that, EP comes over. EP, you're done over here. Now come over and start on my yard. I'm done with the mower, but I still need to detail the yard. I told you I need to be somewhere and I need you to start now. You can go whenever you need to go, but before you do, I need to discuss a quick payment plan. I charge yards based on the size and the amount of work I put into it. She had a sizable yard too, and as I mentioned earlier, it was riddled with the overgrowth, so my first asking price was $200. I normally charge $50 to $60 for a normal size yard and sometimes $70 if it's overgrown, but her yard was pretty big and I only had a push mower with me. And it's not like she didn't have money. Her garage had a brand new Mercedes and a Porsche Cayenne. EP. Okay, how much? Based on all the vegetation, my asking price is $200. $200? You know it doesn't cost that much, you scam artist. The size of your yard alone is $100. You have vines growing on the sides of your house, and I can barely see the patio and walkway. Not to mention that the bushes are now covering the windows, and some of those tree limbs need to be cut. Slim trees. Well, I'm not giving you the money right now. I need to see your work. That was alright with me, and I usually don't take money until after I've worked. I also told her that I charge for the size and amount of work. She then leaves, and I finish with my boss's yard. I move over to her yard and start working. The grass was so thick, my mower kept getting clogged, but I managed to pull through. After a few hours of cutting grass, I finally got to the detailing. Thankfully, the vines on the house weren't to the point where they were on the roof, and the bushes had to be trimmed a certain way as to not block the windows. I finally trimmed the tree branches, and that's when EP comes back from whatever it was she was doing. I just had to cut the last tree limb, and she comes over. Pretty good job. How long did it take? It took several hours for the yard alone. I'm now asking for $275. As I mentioned earlier, I charge based off the size and the amount of work I put in, and I had to put in a lot. I thought your price was $200. It was at first, and now I'm asking for $275. My mower clogged several times and almost shut down on me completely. Also, I had to put in extra to get this yard presentable. EP storms off, I guess to get the money. About 5 minutes pass, and I see her son walk out. He asked his mother, could he have some money? And I look as she gave him all the money that I was supposed to be paid with. I walk over, and she says this. What do you want? The money you owe me? I saw you hand all of it over to your son. So, he's my child, and he asked me for some money. I can pay you with a gift card. She really pulled out a $5 gift card to a department store. I don't think I've ever felt more insulted than I did here. Are you serious? Yes. Now take it, or you're not getting paid at all. We discussed a payment plan, and you even agreed to pay me $200. Now all I did was charge an extra $75 because I told you before that I charged based on the size and amount of work I put in. Oh well, you're already getting paid for the first yard. She had the audacity to be determined not to pay me for the work I've done. And then try to justify it by saying that I'll be getting paid for the other yard. I don't work for free unless you're a close friend or family member in need. She tries to ignore me by going back inside the house and staying there. But I was determined that I was going to get what I was owed. I started thinking, and I got an idea to mess up her yard since she didn't want to pay me. I grabbed my weed eater and ran it into the dirt. For those of you who don't know, a weed eater will tear everything up from the root if you put it down into the dirt. I had messed up a few sections of the yard before she came back out to see what was going on. She lost her mind when she saw what I was doing. What the are you doing to my yard? Since you don't want to pay me properly for the work I've done, I'm going to make it look like a job worthy of a $5 gift card. If you don't stop, I'm calling the police and telling them that you're trespassing and destroying my property. Go ahead. And you can also tell them how you don't want to pay up for someone else's labor. EP looks confused for a moment, in a way that's basically slave labor, which is illegal. Like I said, I don't work for free unless you're one of my close friends or family members in need. She called the police anyway. An officer shows up, but to my surprise, he's one of my regular customers. We know each other pretty well. The officer told her about my work ethic and my professional work, and then he asked why she didn't pay me. She gave him some BS excuse, talking about how we agreed on a much lower price. He asked her for her ID. Turns out she was avoiding several fines from the HOA, Homeowners Association, because her yard had so much overgrowth. So, on top of paying me $275, she had to pay an additional $300 because her yard was not up to par with safety standards. Don't rob people, edit. MB wasn't supposed to be in the key. As I was typing, my head kept saying my boss, and it made its way into the text. Edit. The HOA in my city and state handles the business anyway. If you don't pay a fine, for whatever reason, they'll file a report on you with law enforcement. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. That wraps up our first Entitled Parents video. I was going through Reddit, and one, I found out that entitled parent videos are really popular, so I wanted to share it. And two, is that I just think there are so many entitled people out there. I think I'm going to do like a series, a playlist with just entitled parents and teachers and kids and everybody. Because some people out there just expect things and don't expect to pay or do anything in return. So we shall read those stories and laugh and just judge these people because they need to be judged. But here's the top comment, and I thought it was really funny because the actual writer responded back. So here it is. So Yeet Yacht said, you should have sprayed the grass with weed spray, forgot the name, forgive me, in the shape of a dick, so she wouldn't notice until once the grass dies, and it got 261 ups. And the original writer responded, would it please you to hear that while I was driving the weed eater in the dirt, I did make a dick. What I find funny is that he said weed eater, and I'm not sure if that was like a clever thing or that was a typo, but either way, it works perfectly. Anyway, guys, Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe like every other YouTuber says, because I would like to pay my bills and eat, and I need money. So do that, and do comment down below and leave links to stories you'd like me to read. So they can be like horror stories, mystery stories. I want to do a lot more ask Reddits because I think those are really cool. Not ass like booty, but like ask with the K, yeah. Anyway, just please comment down below and share stories because I'd love to know what you guys want to hear me read. And that's also why I want you guys to comment and subscribe, because I want to see like how many of y'all are actually interested in this and like me making these videos. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.